I look at the Ian Desmond comments, he had a lot to say. And when you look at his entire comment thread that he posted on Instagram, he sort of talks about the issue that you mentioned, David. But then one of the issues I really want to hit on is that he was talking about how he was visiting an old Little League ballpark. And it was run down, it was antiquated, the bleachers were rotting, and he went into the dugout for one of the areas of the ballpark, and the lineup sheet, or the schedule sheet, that's what it was, the schedule sheet that was posted on the wall in the dugout, it was in the year of 2015. So when I look at baseball, and there are a lot of issues that I have talked about very, very in depth on about the issues in baseball. And while we do have the Play Ball initiative, which is trying to expand baseball to the youth of our nation today, to me, baseball could still do so much better toward expanding baseball to the youth in rundown communities and low income communities. Because if you want to really expand your fan base and if you want to expand the interest of the sport, you not only want to target the youth of the nation, you want to target the low income of the nation. Baseball is what, after all? The national pastime. That's America. That's the United States. And when you look through baseball, through its history, from the roaring 20s to the 1930s and the Great Depression, baseball was the number one thing. That's what brought everybody together. And while the Play Ball initiative, like I said, has definitely helped alleviate some of the issues of not providing financially to the little leagues of low-income communities, it's still not enough. I think you could do so much more. Baseball has a marketing problem, but I think it also has a marketing problem toward the low-income communities. Because like you said, David, and like Ian Desmond said, the African American population at the top, you don't see majority GMs that are African American. All the big time stars, aside from Mookie Betts and a few others, the first rate stars are all white. And when you look at baseball, once you look at what the product is on the field today, it's all about strikeouts, home runs, and walks. And while I don't think that baseball should be one extreme over the other, baseball should not be home run oriented. I also don't think it should be small ball oriented. I think it should be that perfect balance where you have home runs, you have base stealing. And I think a big factor that I would really emphasize on more than base stealing would be base running. How many times have we seen runners get tagged out at second base because of a bad route? How many times have they not tagged up to third base when they could have? How many times did they go from third base to home when they should have stayed up? The base running is also a big problem in the league today. When you look at it's not really the emphasis. It's only about launch angle. It's only about home runs. And I think when you look at what baseball could be, it should definitely not be home run oriented. It should be everything that emphasizes on all races, all creeds, and so on. African Americans, as you said, Cameron, they're the base stealers. Even though base stealing is down, the leaders in the National League have all been African Americans, save for Trey Turner. If you emphasize more on more three-dimensional play, which emphasizes on base running, base stealing, hitting for average, hitting the other way, hitting for power, hitting for the gaps, if you combine all that together, that gives everybody an opportunity to thrive, no matter the race you are. So when you look at the entire issue, Ian Desmond said, it's not only a problem on the field, it's not only a problem in the locker room, it's not only a problem in the front office, but to me, it's a problem when you look at the little league fields, the small fields where baseball starts and where baseball begins to blossom with young kids that want to eventually become the next Mike Trout, the next Mookie Betts. When you look at all these issues together, there are so many ways that baseball could improve and need to improve for the health of their sport long term.